So, my name is Patrick Donahoe. I am the chair of the board of CAPLA. I'm also the dean of the Faculty of Academic and Career Advancement at KPU, Kwantlen Polytechnic University, in what we call south of the Fraser. I want to welcome all of you to this year's Recognizing Learning Conference. I'm going to call my colleague and the treasurer of the CAPLA board, Denis, Gravelle, to offer greetings en français.
Merci Patrick. Bienvenue à Toronto. Je m'appelle Denis Gravelle et je suis membre du conseil de l'Association canadienne pour la reconnaissance des acquis. Et je suis aussi le directeur de l'éducation permanente au Collège Seneca. Nous sommes désolés que nous ne pourrions pas offrir le service simultané et nous ne pouvons pas vous offrir les sessions bilingues. Mais nous sommes vraiment contents que vous êtes ici, parmi nous, et surtout avec nos collègues à travers du Canada. Bienvenue à Toronto.
Merci. Thank you, Denis. So this year's conference is titled A Deep Dive into Skills Assessment and Advising for Adults in Career Transition. And it offers a new format based on the feedback we received last year, as I said earlier. And as the name implies, we will be digging quite deep in the fields of RPL advising and assessing over the next 2 days. And at the same time, the program should provide in the afternoons lots of time for networking with colleagues. We have participants here from a broad range of backgrounds in RPL: career and employment services and counseling, education, professional licensure and certification, and other sectors. This diversity will enrich the discussions and help us to learn from each other and lessen the natural tendency to go into silos. That's important for lifelong learners, that we are providing a broad spectrum and accessible services for them so they can optimize their education and training. Before proceeding this morning, I'd like to take a moment to thank those who participated in this year's sponsorship program, and they include, with our humble thanks, the government of Ontario, of the Yukon, their advanced education government, the government of Nunavut, Kwantlen Polytechnic University, somebody must have twisted an arm there, and World Education Services and CanCred. So for all of our sponsors, we are very grateful, and I'd ask you to give a round of applause. Some of their representatives are in the room. The CAPLA Board of Directors also deserves to be recognized for their contributions over the past year. And board members here today, I'll just ask you to stand when I call your name so people can see that you're here. Jennifer Archer from Nova Scotia. Is she sick? She's ill? Okay. She was certainly heading in that direction yesterday. Marjorie Budnickas from BC. Chip Dickinson from Nova Scotia. Denis, you've met from Seneca, Ontario. Kate Brodovich from Saskatchewan. Two other board members were not able to be with us today. That's Frank Vandenberg from New Brunswick and Jennifer Bertrand from Alberta, our Board of Governors. So this year is very significant for CAPLA for several reasons. We'll be electing several new board members at the annual general meeting, which is this afternoon at 4:45 in the York Room. Please come and be part of that meeting. And we will be developing succession planning to help us find a replacement for Bonnie Kennedy as she transitions into other things. We'll be looking for your help with our next fall conference and a major new social media initiative. The new CAPLA Board of Directors will be rethinking how we can grow RPL in Canada in an effort to build our community of practice and base support. At the registration desk, there are sign-up sheets for 3 CAPLA board subcommittees, and we'd love to have expertise representation from a couple of different things. We're really looking for some depth in social media. We want to get with it. We're behind the times. We need to get out there, and Twitter and Instagram and whatever, that little messenger on Facebook, whatever we decide is the right thing to do. You see how au courant I am. That's why they're kicking me off the board. And so beware if you sign up. The Education and Training Committee has met twice as more often as it has in the past under the able leadership of Deb Blower this past year, and they are also looking for folks to work on hearing from you and having your active participation in looking at how we move deeply into the 21st century with ways of delivering our learning and training. And the third committee is the voluntary standards and guidelines, and that really, the training means nothing if we don't have training that is following a clear policy and operating two very clearly enunciated standards, and we need to refresh the documentation we have on that front. Before I introduce the guest speaker this morning, I just wanted to I went around and talked to a few tables and asked people if they were doing the badges. And at each of the tables, one or two people said yes, and the rest of them said, "What's that?" So a very quick primer. And I'm sorry to repeat this for those of you I was talking to at the tables. If you think of being a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout and you have a badge, say in cooking, you can go to the handbook, and that handbook will tell you what it is that means that you can do. The online badges are no different. Online is stored the learning outcomes, who offered the badge, who assessed it, when that happened, and what event, in this case, what that was all about. It's an amazing way to recognize many pieces of learning. The example that I was telling folks at tables from my institution was that back in January of this year, we introduced a badge in plagiarism and academic integrity. We've now had 6,000 students do it. It's changed two things. Now a number of the faculty are asking students to do that badge before they turn in their first paper, and we've seen a notable reduction in cases of plagiarism. The real bonus is that faculty say, "Oh my God, you just gave me back 2 hours of teaching time," where I'm teaching the curriculum for my course, not about plagiarism. Spin-off feedback from students was, "Okay, so tell us how to do better citing." The new badge is coming out on citing. I'm just telling you that because I think it illustrates it's a very nimble and responsive way to address issues that you may find. I think the other piece that came up yesterday on a number of occasions was more and more people are being asked by their supervisors and by HR departments, who sometimes seem to be getting more and more audit mode. What have you done with your PD this year? And I was talking with folks from the Northwest Territory. Sometimes that PD means, you know, get some PD, but we haven't got any money for you to do it. But the badges, it may be one way that we can provide better on-time education, training, updating, professional development to folks across Canada and beyond. So think about it. Would love to have more. Last year, about a quarter of the participants in the conference did the badge. This year we have two, one for today, one for tomorrow. We'd love to have a higher percentage and then your feedback on the conference evaluation form as to how is this working for you, how could we improve it. So every one of you have an opportunity today to help us move forward with the organization and how we try to stay au courant, meeting your needs and using new platforms to do that. There endeth the lesson.